Oprah, a lot of people develop acting ability early on in their lives. Now, when you were a kid, didn't you deliver a stellar performance with Aretha Franklin that
Oh, pretending on the street that I was abandoned or something? Yeah, I did. That's an old story. Nobody has brought that up but you, Mark. Yeah, I had run away from home and had convinced Aretha Franklin, who she doesn't remember this story, nor if I can understand now why you wouldn't, because you get so many people coming up to you. Um, but at the time, it was a big story in my life, because I'd run away from home, and I was running. I didn't have any money, and Aretha Franklin was getting out of a limousine in Milwaukee, going into a hotel. So I went up and told her some big, fat lie about how I'd been abandoned and needed money to get back home. My grandmother left me, and she gave me $100, and which I have not ever paid back. But yes, yes, I think that I, in many ways, was born to act. I've always felt that I was supposed to, and do I look like I'm sliding down the chair to you? I keep sliding in the chair, Mark. Ugh. But I think I was born to act, Mark. I think I was born to act, and it just took me a long time to have the courage to do it.
Yeah. Well, a really gutsy thing that you did is you entered some beauty pageants. Now,
Yeah.
Miss Tennessee,
Oh,
Miss
you're going way back,
Fire
Mark.
Prevention.
You're going back to Miss Fire Prevention, Mark. I see that's where you're going.
Now, how surreal was it to be a beauty contestant, and how many doors did that open?
Mark, let me just say this, that anybody who's ever been in the Miss Fire Prevention contest isn't doing it as a way to get a door open to anything. It isn't. It just, was a part of my whole kind of hometown, small town, thing that was going on in my life at the time. What did you think of this movie?
I thought it was an amazing, amazing performance there.
Really?
So, and before we talk about this movie, I was thinking, The Color Purple. When you went into that, your first, acting role, how intimidated were you going into that? Were you
Pretty intimidated.
Yeah, because you seem like a very self-confident person, but
acting isn't something that I do on a regular basis. You can see it's every like 15 years. So I was very intimidated. That was my first time. So I walked in, and there we are, sitting there. And I walked in and did my first scene, which was my first scene. My first day was my first scene. And I walked in and looked straight in the camera and said, "How you doing, Miss Seeley?" And Steven Spielberg yelled, "Cut, cut, cut." Because, television and film are direct opposites. Film, you lose the camera. You don't even know where it is in the room if you are doing your job really well. And television is the opposite. You walk in, you look directly into the camera. So, yeah, I was intimidated. I was intimidated during this movie. I was.
I've been thinking the long struggle to bring this to the screen. It was funny, I saw it at a screening with 3 people, and when we walked out, all 3 of us stood in the lobby and talked about the movie for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
What things meant. Now, this is not your typical date type movie. Now, was it, did you have a hard time convincing some of the studios that this is a movie that should be made?
I've heard that question about the date thing come up a couple times. I don't know who on earth, Mark, that is in their right mind that sets out to make a movie that people want to take somebody on a date to see it. I don't know how you do that. I know that that's, how I guess marketers might perceive a film or something. But as an artist, as a creator, as a woman who, if you make pottery, if you make the most beautiful pot that you know, and you create that pot out of whatever is inside you, and you offer that to the world, and whoever chooses to see it and feel what you felt and see what you saw when you made it, that's who will buy it and appreciate it. That is the same thing with making a film. You want to create it based upon what is meaningful, what is purposeful, what is fun, what do you think is entertaining, and then whoever chooses to go see it, that is a blessing and a gift to you. But you really cannot start with the idea in mind of, let me create something that this person will go see or that person will go see, because you will automatically fail. That is the absolute formula for failure, to work outside of yourself to try to make your offering based upon what somebody else wants to see. You can't work that way.
Now, one of your co-star in the film, Danny Glover, one of my favorite actors. Now, he's done a lot of movies with Mel Gibson, and Mel Gibson always gets the references to his butt shots. Now, in this movie, there's a romantic scene where he stands up out of a bathtub, and You know, we get a good idea how he looks from the backside. You're on the front side. Who was that scene more awkward to do for? Mr. Glover or yourself?
Did you ask him yet? No,
Not
okay.
yet.
I can't wait till you ask that question. I will say this, that because I am the front side, I was looking into his eyes.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you anything about his front side other than what was in his eyes. I didn't see him until the dailies. I'm like asking, you know, how was that? And they were going, somebody said to me, it's the high and the mighty. That's true.
Okay.
Okay.
No, when I think of you, I always think of this very glamorous woman. And in this film, you know, your look is a lot different. You know, and they did a lot of stuff.
You know you adored me in this movie. You know you did. You just don't want to break out and say it yet, Mark.
Well,
Go ahead.
Well, it's a different type of beauty. But I know they did some work on your teeth, it looked like, for some of the scenes. So what was that like when they were?
Nothing. They just would color them, dingy them up every morning. And then sometimes, this is so funny, sometimes I'd forget that I'd had the dingy teeth, and like a couple of days I got off early and we're like going to the mall, and Kate Forte, who's my producer, would say to me, it didn't bother me, but we'd go out and I'd forget that I'd had this stuff on my teeth. And every time I'd open my mouth, she'd say, those aren't her teeth. Those aren't her real teeth. Those aren't really hers. She really does have nice white teeth. I'd go, no big deal. People see me every day. They know I got decent teeth, okay? Those aren't her teeth. I opened my mouth. She go, those aren't her teeth. Okay.
Okay, and last question. This might be widely known. I did not know that, but how close did your show, I mean, in your life, come to be known as the Oprah Winfrey Show?
No, that's not. It never was going to be the Oprah Winfrey Show.
But,
what happened is my name was originally on my birth certificate. It's Orpah. Orpah. Because the R is before the P and not the P before the R. But, you know, people in my family, they didn't know how to pronounce it, number one, even though it was taken from Ruth, 1st chapter, 14th verse. That's who I was named from, Ruth. She was Ruth's sister-in-law, you know, that big, great passage, where did I go, as I will go. Orpah was on the same road with Ruth and said, I'm a little tired. I'm going to turn around and go back. It's a long way. And I'm tired of walking with you, Ruth. I got to get back to Jerusalem. So that was Orpah. And I ended up being Oprah because someone didn't know how to spell it. It's true.
Okay, great. Great stories. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. You're a funny guy.